So my son comes to me a couple of days ago, all excited. He hands me a piece of paper and says, "Dad, I made this for you." So I open it up, I look at it, and there's a bunch of scribble lines. It looks like an alien somewhere, a couple of stick figures. I think somebody died. I'm having the hardest time figuring this out, but he's unbelievably excited about this thing. So I say, "Thank you, bud. What is it?" And he describes to me that it's me and him playing Xbox, and he wrote that how awesome my dad I am and that he loves me. Okay? So I'm looking at this and I don't see it. I don't see it because I didn't make it. I didn't understand the intent on how it was designed. And a lot of times this is how we are with life. We don't understand what God's doing because we're not spending time with Him to understand His heart behind what He's doing. So we know in Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, based on yesterday's reading, that God created us different than the animals. He created us with love. He breathed life into us. In the book of Jeremiah, in chapter 1, verse 5, he says, "Before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I appointed you." This tells us that even after the garden, that God continues to love and create people with purpose and on purpose. In fact, that word "to know you before you were formed in your mom's womb" is the same word that we use before we were formed. We were best friends. How cool is that? That God looks at you and says, before you were even born, before a figment of your mom's imagination, I wanted to be your best friend. And before you were even born, okay, I already called you to do big and great things. You're going to read Jeremiah 29:11 today and a couple other verses. But here's the thing. God called you with purpose. It wasn't just for Adam. It wasn't just for Eve. It's today in your life. You were called for purpose to do big things. God wants relationship with you. God wants you to do great things. You are not designed and destined for nothing and just mediocre life. But you're designed for big, big things. Today, as you get ready for school or work or whatever it is you're doing, know this, that God called you for relationship and God's called you to do big things. And how about this? He didn't leave you. He appointed him. He appoints you. He gives you the abilities. He gives you the call. He gives you the grace to do these big things today. So no matter what happens in your life today, know this. You are loved by God. You're desired for relationship by God. And He's given you the tools to be an accomplishment today. Read, answer the questions, and show love to somebody today.